Hey everybody, David Banach of the Magick Jukebox podcast here, and welcome to Magick Jukebox Behind the Mic. This is just a little sneak peek into what goes on on how I produce one of my shows. I'm going to go through the entire production of a show with you here as I continue on. But I wanted to give you a little tour. This is, of course, my studio that you see. I've got handful of CDs and such up here. Most of my music is digital, stored on my computer. I've got it's a generic, well, it's an HP, AMD Phenom X6 processor. It's a few years old, but it still holds up really well. It does a great job for what I do. I don't do any high-end gaming or anything like that on this computer, but for podcasting, it works really, really well. I have a basic mic stand in front of me here, and on top of the mic stand is my pop filter and the Samson Meteor mic. It's a pretty good microphone. It's a USB mic. USB mics have their advantages and disadvantages. One advantage is it's got a pretty great sound. The major disadvantage is it took me a while to get some software that I could use where I could actually adjust the sound. It was either all the way on or all the way off. So it was either clipping or I wasn't, or, I had silence. That wasn't good. That frustrated me for a while, but I finally got my software figured out, and I'll go into the software aspect of it in a little bit. The shows that I put together kind of come together just as on a whim. Sometimes I have a theme, sometimes I don't. I'm actually going to be putting together a show for you here in the next few minutes, or at least showing you how I put together a show here in the next few minutes. And, well, let's get started. That pretty much handles all the hardware aspect of it. Now let's take a look at the software. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the software that I use. This is, of course, Audacity, and oddly enough, I really don't use Audacity all that much. I'll use it to record an occasional one-off or bumper or something along those lines, just because it's really easy to use for that. It does have some nice powerful features as far as editing is concerned, and so I can do some cool sound effects and things like that if I want to with Audacity, but for the bulk of my podcasting, I don't use Audacity. What I do use is this program. This is Media Monkey. You may have heard of it. You may even use it. I highly recommend Media Monkey. Media Monkey helps me keep my music files organized and clean and neat, and it helps me plan my show. So if I'm doing a theme show, I can go in and I can search in here. I can search for specific keywords in song titles, or of course I can search by artist, etc. What I have here is a small playlist. Just over here on the right hand side of the screen, I have a short playlist, actually 13 song playlist that is used for that I will use for this next show. I normally stick with even numbers, and the reason this is a 13 song playlist is because right here I have Wisp of a Thing Part 1 and Wisp of a Thing Parts 1 and Part 2, and Wisp of a Thing Part 3 by Tuathadea, and I'm going to put those two songs together and make one song out of it, because it all does belong together. So that would put me in a 12 song format. So once I've determined my playlist and what I want to do, I'll usually sit down and write some sort of a script. Well, sometimes I will, sometimes I won't, but I'll come up with some sort of a script. And then I will go over to this program. And this program is called Propaganda, and it's from a company called Mixmeister. This is what I do most of my podcasting with. As you can see, I just typed in Juke up here, and that gave me my files that I use, which are things like this file here, which is my son. Let's make sure my volume is up high enough where you can hear this. That's probably not even quite. There we go. So this track is my son saying, "Welcome to the show."
Hi, welcome to the show.
Okay, that was actually really loud, so I'll turn that down a bit. I have other files here, the jukebox file I use for the beginning of my show, and then the songs, and then all the way at the end, my son saying thanks for listening. So here's all the music tracks right here. If you see there's this little box here that says add transition, so I could then take Typically, I'll record a segment, so I'll play the welcome, then I'll record a segment. There's a record button right there. I can't record while I'm recording, obviously, but if I were to click that button under normal circumstances, I can then record my segment, drag it into place where it needs to be, and then I can use this button to either put in crossfades and do beat mixes or set no transition. I can also control things manually. If you look down here, I have these two songs where they come together. Here we go. This is the first song is Blessed Be Namaste by Robin Renee, and it gives me the beats per minute. That's really only handy if you're going to be using this for DJing purposes. And then this is Bank of the River Thames by Rowena of the Glen. And I could, on where those two songs come together, I could just click crossfade and it'll automatically crossfade those two songs for me. So it sounds like this. Alright, so it'll automatically crossfade for you. Or if I say no transition, I can go back to the beginning. I can do a manual crossfade just by dragging this song over here like this, and then I can lower this main volume like so, and then as this song fades out, the other one will fade in. Gives a little bit. It's a slow climb there. I'm not too fond of that. All right, so you can see it definitely gives it a different sound for between the two. If I had to choose between those two, I would probably bring this volume back up where it's supposed to be, and then go ahead and put a regular crossfade in there. So this song drops off rapidly, before the end of the song, and then this one comes in right at the right point at the drop off. And so you can do lots of things with this program. It's all very linear. If I back out, you can see the entire layout of the entire show. But I'll just go through and I'll record a segment, and then I'll do my transitions, and then I'll record the next segment and do my transitions, record the next segment and do my transitions. Usually you'll see this program in a minimized form, like so. And then I'll have like WordPad or Open Office Writer or something like that, some sort of writing program over here on the side with my script on it, or at least my outline. So I can be working on the left side of the screen with my recording, and my script is over here on the right side in nice big text, so it's easy for my blind eyes to read. So that's pretty much it. Once I'm done, this program will output. I can export it, and I can export it into, I usually use an MP3 at 128 kilobits per second, and then I import that program, that item that I just created. I'll import that back into this program, MediaMonkey, to edit my tags before I upload. I then upload to Podbean, and that's it. The show's up. So that's about the basics of the software. So as you can see, putting together an episode of the Magick Jukebox is actually a fairly easy process. The entire process, editing it all, from selecting the songs, script writing, recording, and editing, usually takes me less than 2 hours per episode. I've gotten pretty good at it by now. It's been 5 years. The first few episodes definitely took me a lot longer, but it's getting easier as time goes by, and with a program like Propaganda, you can see how easy it is. I believe Propaganda is still available. If not, I wish there was something out there as good as that program, or possibly even better. There are some features I wish that Propaganda had, but Mixmeister stopped doing any sort of support on that program a long time ago. So if you're a programmer and you're interested in making a great program for podcasting, let me know, and I'll give you some tips and some ideas that I think the program should have to make life a whole lot easier for everybody. Anyway, this is me, Dave Banach of the Magick Jukebox podcast, and you can find my show at www.magickjukebox.com. It's also available on iTunes, and it plays every Sunday at 4 a.m., noon, and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on International Pagan Radio. I'm working on some other things, so keep your ears out. And, of course, make sure you check out Caldera Fest next May. It's getting so exciting. We're at 26 bands, and I'm working on trying to sneak a few more in there. My business partners don't like me too much because I keep trying to add more acts, but what they don't know won't hurt them. All right. Blessed be. See you guys later.